Well, what's going on, Vikings fans? It is Skol side back again with another Minnesota Vikings video coming to you on a loss Monday. You know, this is depressing. We lost the Cowboys yesterday. Some positive news, though. Just hit 700 subs. Seriously, thank you guys so much. Means the world. Just keeps me motivated to keep making these videos for you guys. Anyways, in this video, normally I do who showed up, who didn't, as my first video post-game. I'm going to be doing that later today. However, just some thoughts on Kirk Cousins and Mike Zimmer. What I would do if I was Rick Spielman with those two. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I'm going to be saying, where is the future of the Vikings? Where should they go? I know this is very drastic, and my thoughts have really changed. And that's what I'm going to be laying out for you guys. I'm going to give you my plan on what I would do if I were the Minnesota Vikings going in to next year and just how they should play out this little Zimmer-Cousins era. Anyways, guys, let's talk about it. Mike Zimmer, Kirk Cousins, what should the Vikings do? Well, first we need to understand what they've done. Kirk Cousins, this is his third year. He has a playoff win. He's not won a division title. He won 10 games last year. First year was kind of a bust, and he was not too good. But this year was really inconsistent, and he's been really starting to pick it up later on at post-bye. And the thing that's kind of driving me crazy about Vikings fans is, you know, yesterday we can blame the refs, whatever. I don't like doing that because I think whatever, like, it always comes around. You always get a call in your favor. I hate when fans blame refs. Anyways, yesterday, I don't really care who we have at quarterback. We could have Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. Cousins played lights out. He put up 3 touchdowns in the second half. Yes, you could have said, well, why didn't he go get that game-winning drive? Listen, man, if your expectations for a quarterback are game-winning drive at the game-winning drive, I mean, he did have Jefferson drop a catch on the game-winning drive. Yesterday was nowhere near his fault. And frankly, I don't see the argument you could make for yesterday being on Cousins. Then again, we're not talking about yesterday. We're talking about it as a whole. And I have changed my thoughts on the Vikings drafting a quarterback in the first round. I believe they should steer clear of that. I don't think they should take a quarterback in the first round because I see the weapons and I see the talent Kirk has, and I really believe Kirk can lead us to multiple playoff wins. I think he can go on a run. I think if he gets hot and he has the right pieces around him, he can go win a playoff game. Because if you look at this defense, Harrison Smith's not going to be here for much longer. Eric Kendricks, he's been here for a while. He is in his peak. We need to take advantage. Danielle Hunter, in his peak. Dalvin Cook, in his peak. Thielen's already 30. Do you really want to bring in a young quarterback and wait for him to develop? I don't. I think we can win with Kirk Cousins, and I want us to stay with Kirk. I would go secondary in the first round. That's where I think our priority should be. Because also, if you look at defensively, you know, we still don't have Barr, Hunter, Pierce. We don't have much of those guys. But I think Cousins showed me enough over the past 2 years for me to be confident in that he can go win us games. Because, yes, he's had his moments. He's going to have a bad game like he did against Atlanta. He's going to have another bad game like he did against Indianapolis. But if you look at the games he's also lost, there's been no run game. There's been no offensive line. He's finally got a decent offensive line, and we've seen what he's been doing. Ever since Ezra's been the starter, we've seen what he can do. I'm back on the Kirk bandwagon. I was calling him for to get cut earlier this year, but that was just me being naive and not taking the situation in as a whole. I think Kirk can win games, and I want to stick with him until his contract plays out. Now on the flip side, Mike Zimmer. I think Spielman should sit down Zimmer and Cousins both at the same time and say, hey, we're not going to draft a quarterback. We're not going to fire you. You got next year. Prove it. That's what I think Spielman should do. You know, I don't think it's fair to fire Zimmer when he doesn't have Danielle Hunter. He lost 6 starters on defense in a COVID year, a terribly young secondary. On top of that, riddled with injuries. No Mike Hughes, no Holton Hill, Dantzler in and out. He's playing with Chris Jones, and we all can have our opinion on Chris Jones, especially after that poor effort he made on that tackle yesterday. Cameron Dantzler's been, frankly, inconsistent this year. And he's playing with a bunch of 3rd and 5th rounders on the defensive line. And Anthony Harris took a step back. I just think you sit Zimmer and Cousins down and you say, here's 1 year. Prove it. You're going to have a whole offseason. You're going to have Daniil Hunter. You're going to have Michael Pierce. Prove to me that you can take us over the top and put pressure on that. Because, yes, you know, the whole question is, yeah, Zimmer and Cousins are good, but can they get you over the hump? And that's the question us fans, we need to be real with it. Because I feel like Zimmer and Cousins, they keep reeling us in just a little bit. And there's always an excuse coming up for both of them, which I'm making right now. I'm saying this year there are excuses for those two. However, going into next year, I don't care what happens. I don't care injuries or anything. If I were Spielman, I would sit down Cousins and Zimmer at the same time, and I would say, listen, this year, it's been insane. We're still going to try to win. We're still going to try to make the playoffs. We're going to make a push, get these young guys reps. However, next year, I want to see us in the NFC Championship. I want to see us win a division title under Kirk Cousins. That's what I would do if I were Spielman. Because the bar is not just to win games. The bar is to win a Super Bowl. And that's what people don't really understand. Zimmer and Cousins are great, and I don't think we should move off them just yet. But however, if they just can't get over that hump, I think we need to let them go. Or else we're just going to keep going in the same cycle and keep making excuses. And eventually it's going to have to be a time for a culture change. You know, I've been a Zimmer supporter for a while, and I still am. I still think he deserves another year. But how many times are we going to lose at home to Buffalo when they were terrible, to Atlanta this year, to Dallas this year? I mean, we're 1-4 at home. I get with all the injuries, but some of that accountability has to be on the defensive head coach, considering the amount of points we're giving up at home. You know, I was actually excited about the defense. I know we played Chicago last week, but even before that, against Detroit in Green Bay, where the defense looked solid. And then yesterday it all fell apart. Defensive line getting blown off the ball for 5 yards. I'm going to get more into that later, but I think the state of Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins, if I was Rick Spielman, you sit them both down and say, I'm not drafting a quarterback. We can draft secondary. We can load this roster up for 1 year. Next year. Because there is fun. We got Jefferson, Cook. The offensive line looks good. Even Brett Jones looked good yesterday. We have the pieces to go win. We just got to learn to win. We just got to get over that hump. And I'm going to give you one more chance, both of you, or else we're moving off. That's what I would do. I know it's a drastic take. I know a lot of people are still on draft a quarterback. But frankly, I just don't think that's the right move. I really don't. Considering we would end up with Trask or we would have to trade up for Zach Wilson. I think they need to stand pat with Cousins and Zimmer. However, if next year, if they don't win a division title, if they don't win a playoff game or multiple, you move off them. That's what I think. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I know this might be a hot take, but really listen to what I'm trying to say. I would say, Zimmer, when your full defense is back next year, we'll draft a corner. We'll go get you what you want. We'll go all in on you and Cousins 1 more year. But if it doesn't work out, I think it's time to move on. I think at the end of next season, there's going to be a complete shift in culture on this team. Because frankly, the bar for me is not to win 9 games. The bar for me is to win a Super Bowl. And that's what I think. I think the Vikings, after this year, you sit down Cousins and Zimmer, you say, hey, next year, this is it. Go win some games. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. If you are new here, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the video. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Skol Vikes. Purple pain, baby.